Hey everyone, welcome back to the Real Life Show for another episode here at Backyard Cafe. We're buzzing to be back.
We are.
In the backyard. We are with a wonderful guest today.
Oh, she's so nice.
So lovely.
So
it's
nice.
Beth Dudgeon.
Yay!
Woohoo!
Woo!
And avid listener of the pod.
Yes, she is.
Fan.
Number one fan.
I would say
Number one fan. Yeah.
How long do you leave it before you watch or listen? Are you a watcher or a listener?
Watcher.
Oh, yes.
Watcher.
Have you watched them all?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That was like after the first time I came to church. That's it. Went on YouTube, watched them all.
Hey,
I
guess,
love
how did you get to know people at church? I watched the Real Life Show.
Yeah. It's a great way to get to know
Bit
people.
creepy.
And if people haven't just watched hours and hours of people. And if people haven't seen the quick fire yet, spoiler alert, favourite episode, Jackie.
Jackie.
Small.
Yeah.
That's one of ours.
Brilliant,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
That was a great episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had a little tear
Very
in
good.
that episode, I think.
I mean,
It's a powerful story.
Yeah, I've had tears
Yeah.
in
Two.
multiple.
Alana's. Did you watch Alana's?
Yes, I did.
Oh, my
I
days.
did.
There was tears after
Tears.
that one.
Yeah.
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 Tears in a lot of them, I found.
We kept it
Definitely.
professional. We kept
Yeah.
it pro, didn't
Yes,
we, for
did,
that one?
We did indeed. Just for people watching, where would they maybe have seen you around church or know you from?
Well, so I've recently done Alpha,
Yes.
as you guys
Yeah.
know,
Woo.
and then I was baptised at the last
Not long
baptism.
ago.
Oh, wonderful.
And then now I'm serving on kids team now.
Yay! Yeah, did you not know that?
Serving on kids
That's
team.
news to me.
Oh,
Yeah.
Zara and Eden love you.
Yeah. Oh, I love them. I had a lovely little tattoo.
Oh, she did a glitter tattoo
She
on
did a
you.
glitter tattoo. And I would have kept it, but I had a wedding to go to, so I had to come off.
And it takes ages to get off.
Yeah, it did.
They're
I
really
had
difficult to get off.
Can't
You have
keep
to
the
scrub
glitter
it.
on
There was
for
a red
wedding,
mark,
can you?
there
Can't
was,
keep it on
but-
for a wedding. Wow. Glitter tattoos at kids' church now?
Yeah, big.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. Thanks for
Wow.
No.
letting her do it.
You're welcome. I enjoyed it.
Thanks for embracing
She got that
the
glitter
tattoos.
out. I said, I'm having one of them.
Which one did you have?
Eden picked it, I think
Wasn't
it
it a girl
was.
power one?
No, it
No.
was a heart with some flames, I think.
Oh, heart with some
yeah.
flames.
Yeah. It was very...
Do you know what? They decided that they were going to do that before they even got to church.
And I was okay with that. I was right on the
Are
bandwagon.
they available at kids' church or did they bring them?
No,
they
it
brought
was
them.
at a Stourbridge service.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So-
So you just
I was-
embraced the
I
tattoos.
embraced it, yeah. yeah.
Did you have a choice?
How can you say no?
You can't say no.
You can't.
Definitely not.
So, Beth, we always start here, and you know that we always start here
Yeah.
because you've watched loads. But we want to know, and I'm sure people watching want to know, when did you first come to know Jesus?
So I came to know him personally only very recently, only this year, after doing Alpha, and then I wanted to know more, and
Yeah.
just once a week at Alpha just wasn't enough. So I decided
amazing.
to come to church.
Yeah.
First day that I stepped into church, Pastor Tony was preaching,
Oh.
and he said the prayer at the end, and I just felt like I needed to say it.
That
and
was
that's
it?
Put my hand up, said yes on that day,
Wow.
and
What did you feel in that moment?
just like, yeah, this is where I belong. This is what I'm meant to be doing. This is just complete contentment. You know,
Yeah.
complete peace. Yeah, this is the absolute right thing to do.
way.
How did you talk to us about that journey to Alpha? How did you know about church? How did you know
So-
it was a thing?
So I've got a friend, Sam,
Yeah.
Yes.
who we went to school together, and now I'm a hairdresser. She comes to me to have her hair done, and I was going through a pretty rough time in December, and it was just before she was due in to have her hair done, and she'd shared something from the church. So I thought,
Oh,
when I see her, I'm going to say to her, do you go to church, Sam? Because obviously she'd never mentioned it at school. We never spoke about it. Didn't have a clue. So she came. I asked her anyway, and she said, yeah, I do. I've been going for a few years. She said the Alpha course is starting soon.
Wow.
And so we spoke a little bit about it, but I'd never heard of an Alpha course. No,
Yeah.
And then I think it was the January, she messaged me to say it's starting in Feb.
Yeah.
If you want to do it, I'll come with you. So
Oh.
I said, yeah, okay, why not?
Yeah.
And did she come with you?
She came with the first time, but then she was away and she had a few things on. But after the first time, I was okay anyway.
Yeah.
Because
You were all
I
right?
made connections. Yeah, and I just felt at home.
That
so
alpha group were a
that
Yeah.
tight group.
Oh.
Tight knit.
That
We
was
were.
great, wasn't it?
We
How many
were.
were on
We
the
still are.
course? Oh, we still
Oh
are.
gosh, I can't remember.
There was a
Quite
fair
de-
number, wasn't
yeah.
there?
10 or 11, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It was a good group.
quite decent.
Oh,
And
that's
we all just
amazing.
clicked. We all just.
Yeah, it was great.
We did. We all just clicked.
Hickories.
Yeah.
Hickories.
Stuff happens in that back room.
That's the
Raspberry
bad.
lemonade. That was the
Yeah.
grape soda.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that grape soda.
yeah, me too.
We'll get on to Alpha a little bit later on, but we just
Okay.
wanted to. So, when this year did you say yes to Jesus? When about was it?
Feb. It was the end of February. Yeah.
So it's been
Yeah.
what, 8 months,
Yeah.
7 months. So
Yeah.
what's life looked like since saying yes to Jesus? How is it different?
It's just more joyful. It's
Is
just
it?
Wow.
it's a complete
Oh,
new
Beth.
me. It's a complete change.
Is it?
Yeah, and just a really welcome change.
Yeah.
Life's been more. Life's been a little bit. I'm going through a bit of a transition at the moment, but leading up to now, it's provided me with the strength that I've needed, and I feel like it just came at the perfect time. It rescued me. He did.
Yeah.
He
Wow.
did come. Like it says on your top, he left the 99
Yeah.
to rescue me.
Oh.
He did. And so my life has just been so much more fulfilled, so much more
Yeah.
purposeful. Helped me deal with things a lot
Yeah.
better. So yeah, it's been amazing.
Wow, that's
Changed my
so
life.
cool.
Massive transformation.
Have like people around you noticed?
Yeah,
A
definitely.
change because like
Definitely, yeah.
you have
Yeah.
invited quite a number of
Yeah,
people to church,
Come
haven't
on,
you?
need to see how good it is. Yeah, yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
So like, what differences have people asked you questions, or have you like just shared it?
I've just shared. I've just been happy to just.
Yeah.
I think at first I was a bit more reserved. I think at first I was a bit selfish with it, if I'm being completely
Oh, wow,
honest.
wanted to keep for yourself.
Yeah, like,
Wow.
and then I had to remind myself, oh, Beth, Jesus loves them. You know,
Yeah.
they've got as much chance
Yeah.
of having this relationship with Him as what you've got now.
Yeah.
So then, when I felt a bit more confident, then I started sharing it because you can't keep it in, can you? You
Yeah.
just cannot keep it in. You know,
Yeah.
it's just it's changed me as a person that much. Just could not keep it in. So my mum says that my mum's seen the biggest transformation in
Really?
me. Yeah, we probably didn't realise how low I was before compared to what I am now. So she would say that every time I would leave Alpha, so I'd always call her in the car when I got back in the car. When I called her after Alpha, then after Connect Groups, then after church, she says, Beth, your voice is up here, you know.
Oh, wow.
Whereas before, you're kind of talking down there. She says, and
Yeah.
you're just absolutely elevated.
Wow.
You're just so excited. You're happy. You're joyful. So
Wow.
that's just.
Had you noticed that in that moment, or do you think it took the people around you to?
I think it took my mum's pointed out definitely.
Yeah.
Didn't realise that I was talking down in this low,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
this
Wow.
low volume. So
What was their initial like? So, Sam invites you to church and says,
Yeah.
"Come along." Others
Yeah,
an Alpha
yeah.
coming up. What was?
yeah,
So when you turn to your family and say, "I think I'm going to go to church this
yeah,
Sunday,"
yeah.
what was that initial?
Well, there was just my mum has already got faith anyway. So
That's
so
good.
to,
Oh, okay.
so to my mum, it was like, wow, can't believe what
Yeah.
God's doing in your life. You know, I
Wow.
can't believe it. My other, I mean, I had a few giggles that I had to kind of deal with, but you know, you just deal with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And most people were really supportive. To be fair, yeah.
That's
yeah,
really
most people
good.
were quite supportive.
That's what you
so,
need, isn't it?
That's great.
Yeah.
So you
yeah.
say your mum's got a faith,
Yeah,
which
mum's
I
got a
didn't
faith.
realise.
Yeah, yeah.
So like growing up, what was your childhood like? Was God mentioned? Did you go to church? Like all of those things.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
so Mum, she met one of her friends called Ranj, who has been to church.
Yes,
You've
yeah.
seen her at church.
Yeah.
So she met her, and Ranj was already a Christian, and my mum was going through quite a difficult time, and she said to Ranj, I don't know what you've got, but I want it.
oh,
And
wow.
Ranj said to her, Mandy, I've got Jesus. And
How
they-
long ago?
I think I was about 7. I've cleared this up with her to see. I think
Yeah.
maybe I was about 7 or 8.
Yeah, wow.
Wow.
That's so cool.
perhaps, yeah. And so they prayed together at my mum's house, and then my mum did start going to church. So I did go with her, but because I was that young, I don't really remember much of it, and I remember falling asleep. I was bored. I remember falling asleep.
Paul fell asleep. Involved in it.
Yeah, I remember falling asleep because I was bored, and so I remember my brother being in the nativity plays and things like that, and that's where Shout to the Lord came from. It came from Range.
Right.
Yes.
So Range would be playing it, and obviously I'd be that young, and then Mum's always had a relationship with God. Mum stopped going to church for different reasons, but she always kept a relationship with God, and so through that she kept. I explain it as a second-hand faith through her. So I mentioned in Alphabet. She would always say to us, any tests at school, driving tests, exams, any hard things we deal with, she'd always say to us, just say to yourself, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So that's what I grew up saying, and perhaps didn't even fully understand what I was saying. And Shout to the Lord, I would always use that as if I was having a bad day or I'd had a nightmare, growing up as a kid. I'd wake up, put that song on, and I would literally shout to the Lord to that song. And I didn't even realise what I was doing. Didn't even realise how much. And I think, looking back now, I think it was just God saying to me all along, I'm here, he's
Oh, wow.
I'm here.
That's so cool.
You'll know me one day.
Oh, wow. So what do you think now then? Like, isn't that so crazy? All your life, from age 7, you've known of God.
Yeah.
Like, why do you think it's now that it's happened?
Because, like I said, I needed rescuing. I really did. I had some health issues last year, so which is still ongoing, but I'm okay. So I went for some blood tests because things just weren't quite working right, and I found out that I've got so it's called a pituitary adenoma. I don't know if you know what that is. So it's a little tumour that grows on the pituitary gland in the brain, and my body just wasn't working properly. So I went through that, and obviously that was quite unknown. Never heard of it before. You read the word brain and tumour, and you just think, what? But I've got put on medication straight away, and I'm okay. I'm monitored. I'm okay. So that happened, and then a couple of years ago, we lost my nan. So I try not to get upset. So I was really, really, really close to my nan. Me and my brother, growing up, I would stay with my nan all the time, and my nan would kick my granddad out the bed, and he would have to go on the spare bed, and I'd sleep with nan. Up until I was 18. And to be honest,
adorable.
I still stayed there up until we got our first house. When I was 20 when we got our first house, and before then I was still staying with nan.
Adorable.
So she was poorly, so we knew it was coming, but the way that it happened, it was a shock. So I was in Rome, went off to Rome, and before I went, she was okay. Then something happened the day I was going, but she was okay. She pulled through, and then it looked like she was going to be okay. So off I went to Rome, and then by the time I come back, she was put under the end of life care. So it was just she weren't there when I come back. She weren't there.
Sorry, Beth.
The Thursday before we went, we was having tea together in my mum's garden, and she was okay. And then come back from another country and she's gone. She can't have those conversations with her because we would talk about everything. Absolutely everything. So that happened. So I think it was a build-up of everything. And then by December last year, I was really struggling. I was really struggling mentally, struggling to get by day, and I couldn't see past the next 15 minutes. I was that down, couldn't see past, and couldn't. I mean, being a hairdresser, it's my busiest time of year in December. I had to cancel customers, could not go to work, would turn up at work and just cry to my customers and say, I've got to go home, I can't face you, I've got to go home.
It's not a job you can hide away from either,
No,
is it?
absolutely not. And obviously, if you have to cancel them, you then have to rebook them back in. So all of that is just added stress. And so it reached a point and we ended up going to, my mum and Ranch took me to the Worcester market because they said, come on, we'll do something nice, try and take your mind off.
Yeah.
things.
Were they aware, like,
Yeah,
how you were?
yeah, they were completely aware, yeah. So went to the Worcester market and my cousin Amy, who now comes to church,
Yes,
they live
wonderful.
in Worcester, and she'd been a Christian for a few years, and we got to the market and I just could not walk around. I was too, the thought of being by everybody, I was just in too much discomfort to walk around. So my mum said, come on, we'll leave, we'll go to Amy's, we'll talk to Amy, see what she says. Because she's also a counsellor as well. You know, so perfect person, Christian, counsellor.
Yeah, brilliant.
Get to her house. So went to her house, started talking things through with her, and she said to me, there was a sideboard in her living room and there was 3 books on the sideboard, and she said to me, those 3 books there, she said, one's my Bible, she said, one's my prayer journal, she said, and the one on the top is your prayer journal. So she'd been praying for me all last year and I had no idea. So I've had really good outcomes with my health issues. I've had really good outcomes, and I had no idea that she was praying for me. So I'd actually got my own prayer journal at Amy's house. So that blew me away and meant so much to me.
That she'd written in?
She'd written
and
in.
And gave it to you?
No, she still hasn't given it. She said, I'll give it to you one day. She still hasn't given it to me yet.
What an incredible friend, cousin.
I think she's still writing in it. I don't know.
They're the sorts of friends that you need,
That's the friends you want.
Absolutely.
Wow.
I know.
That's so beautiful.
Then she was on the app called Glorify. The Glorify app. And so the day after, well, I think it was for a few days after, she would send me the daily walk with God every morning, and I would watch it. And honestly, it was relevant to me that day. And that's how I started to pick up. And that's how I got through my days. So I decided to get Glorify myself and spent that 12 minutes, and that daily walk with God. And honestly, every day was relevant, personalised to what I'd got to go through that day, personalised. And
I love
I just thought, he's helping me. He's helping me. He's been there all along. He's helping me. So I'd started to have a relationship with him. And like I say, he was the only one that got me through. And then in January, we went, Sam texted to say that Alpha was starting. But it was starting on the day we was going to Poland to see Auschwitz and things like that. And it was starting on the night that I came back from Poland. And I thought, shall I go? Shan't I go? I'll be really tired. I'll have washing to do. And I thought, no, I've got to go. So obviously I had no clue what I was coming to, no clue what I was walking into. But I remember being in Poland and talking to God all the way round Auschwitz. He was very much with me all the time. He was very much a part of my life then. And obviously I had no idea what was then to come. And so Amy had also said to me previously, I keep being shown you being baptised. And this was way last year, obviously.
Really?
There we go.
Amy's great. I want Amy to be my friend.
She is great.
Wow, all this is absolutely incredible. It's like God was just...
She's
not getting away this time.
No, she's orchestrated.
God's always been there.
Oh,
He has always been there. And
Gosh.
He just came right, like you say, when you needed rescuing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely.
Oh, wow.
When it
Goodness
came,
me.
so obviously Alpha came in that moment, but tell us about that first time. So when you said yes to Jesus, Pastor Tony preached how beautiful and how you got a chance to say yes to Jesus in that space. What was, because I've been around Alpha with you guys, I even had the pleasure of doing Connect with you not too long ago, and you guys are so on fire and so ready for what God's got. And even on a Sunday, you can see like the Alpha crew together, can't you? And you're so ready, like in worship, it's just it's almost like I've got nothing else to do, so I'm just going to give. I'm going to give it my all.
Absolutely.
So what was that first service like for you in those worship moments, like those words that Pastor Tony was saying? What was different about it, and how were you feeling in that service time? What was it?
It was just, obviously I'd never experienced. Everybody has this image of church, don't they? This boring, cold image, kind of. And so coming into Arise, I remember just seeing all of you guys at the front, and you guys, how you were worshipping, and how you were on fire for God. And I remember thinking, wow, that's what I want. I want to be like that, you know, because I think a lot of you guys are, you know, similar ages to me also. I just thought, how have their lives happened and they're in that situation? I want to be in that situation. I don't want to be in my situation no more. I want to be like that. So it was just completely different. And obviously Pastor Tony, whatever he said anyway, was just captivating, wasn't it? You know, just blew me away. And I really, really am so grateful that I got to meet him. Because that short time, that might not have happened. No. That could have easily not have happened.
Yeah, the timing.
And I tell everybody about him.
Do you?
I do. Everybody I know. And I always say, it's a shame we didn't meet him. I wish you could have met him. I say to Amy, I wish you could have experienced him.
So Amy never met
him, no.
Gosh, that is so crazy. Just out of interest, because I don't, the day I said yes to Jesus, I genuinely cannot remember any of the message, any of the preach at all. All I remember is the moment. I remember what God said to me. I remember what he showed me, all of those things, but I can't remember anything to do with the message. Can you actually remember the message?
No, I actually can't.
That's so funny.
I just remember it as Pastor Tony, and it was great.
Yeah.
That's the same. That is the same. A lot of people.
I'd love to know, like, people's experiences. Like, do you remember what was said in the message?
You could go to the online service, couldn't you?
I could.
You could. Yeah.
That's a good idea. That's a real good idea.
I haven't got a clue.
Do you remember the Sunday? Could you find it?
Yeah, I know it was perhaps one of the last Sundays in February. Yeah.
That's so cool that you got to experience Pastor Tony.
Incredible.
Wow.
Absolutely.
And he played a massive part in Alpha
he
as well,
did. He did. I learnt some important lessons from him in that short time. He told me what was what. And
sounds like Tony.
Once he said it, things I'd believed before. Okay.
Yeah.
Pastor Tony told me.
Pastor Tony said.
All right then.
We always check stuff with Pastor Tony.
Yeah.
For anybody who's listening, who's like, what on earth is Alpha? What are they saying? Like, from somebody who's been on it, how would you explain Alpha to somebody?
So Alpha's just a chance it's a chance to learn more. It's a chance to get the hard questions out. It's a chance to address the hard questions, you know. We perhaps covered things that I didn't think we were going to cover. And the testimonies on the videos, they were just always undeniable, absolutely undeniable. And so I think it was just, the way they do it, I think it's just really important, because it does, for someone who does want to challenge it, I mean, almost always, they change their mind, don't they? You know, that they get their answer, and their answer isn't what they think it's going to be. So that was, I think that was really, like I say, I'd never heard of it before. I'd never heard of an
Alpha
never
course. Even
never heard
of
it.
Course.
No, not at all.
Wow.
How did Sam sell it to you? What was it? What was the invite like?
I can't really remember. I think she just said it was a chance to learn more. And I just knew that I had to. Obviously, that was scary, and I was quite mindful of. I didn't want to impose on Sam's experience, you know, of church, because obviously she's not from around here as well, and she's come and found you guys through Rachel, and I didn't want to impose on that, you know. But she obviously was completely fine about it.
That's not what it's.
No, it's not what it's about. And once I came, that's it. I weren't going anywhere. That was it. That was it.
So
It just meant too much to me. Meant too much to me.
Wow.
Were you nervous? Like, number one, were you nervous coming to church? Were you nervous starting the Alpha course?
Yeah.
I admire your confidence because,
Yeah.
like, you've just seen something and you've just gone for it.
Yeah.
Like, that's incredible. Like, getting back from a trip.
It was.
Gonna go.
I was nervous. I know. It was just, I've got to go. I just had this feeling of I've got to go. My washing can wait. I'll do
great.
it.
So easily.
Easily.
Like, called your mum and told her about your trip.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could have. And I just
Instead.
decided. Sam picked me up. She lives not
Did
far
she?
from me. Yeah.
Aw.
And I just thought, okay, let's just go with it and see what happens. And I was nervous, but as soon as I got into that room and spoke to the people, they were just, I knew that I was okay to go the week after.
Yeah.
So I completely
brilliant.
pushed myself, because I'm not usually confident. I completely pushed myself out of my comfort zone. So for me to go and then feel it's okay to sit in a room without Sam, with those
It's big, isn't
people
it?
that I only met the week before,
Yeah.
it was just, well, it had God written all over it.
Yeah.
So it was just, and then, we have to give ourselves nicknames in the beginning.
Oh, do you?
And I literally could not think of anything to begin with B. So I quickly Googled it where everyone was going around. I thought, oh no, I need to quickly Google it. So I literally Googled describing words beginning with B, and brave was like the third one.
Oh,
so I
love
thought,
that.
yeah,
That's
am I
a brave
brave?
one, though.
Yeah, my mum tells me I'm a bit brave sometimes. Yeah,
Oh.
I'm brave Beth. And then I really, Pam always says to me, we don't call you brave Beth for nothing.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, that really stuck there.
Wow.
Really
You
still,
were brave because
So
only
brave.
6 weeks before
Yeah.
were you feeling this
Yeah,
certain way,
yeah,
like you were
yeah.
turning customers away at
Yeah,
the door.
exactly,
You
yeah,
were
yeah.
going home. Like
Yeah.
life 6 weeks later
Yeah.
looked a lot
It
different.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
yeah.
is like black
Yeah.
and white, isn't
Absolutely.
it? It's crazy.
Absolutely, yeah.
Wow.
Those walking into Alpha and then walking into church, I felt special. Everybody at Alpha and everybody at church, it made me feel really special. And I perhaps hadn't been feeling that way at home. So it was a big change. I knew that I was cared for.
Yeah.
And they wanted to listen to me. They wanted to hear what I'd got to say. And so it was wonderful.
Oh, that sounds so wonderful. How important do you think Alpha is in the initial steps of someone's faith?
I think it is important if you've got questions, if you've, like I say, the hard-hitting questions that we all ask ourselves and we all ask God, when we say when we're in trouble, don't we? What do we do? Yeah. God help me. I think it's really important because it does just give you that, it gives you that space to ask initially, but it also gives you that space to build up the relationships
with others.
With others.
Yeah.
So then when you do come to church, you've already got that support.
Yeah.
You've already got that. You've already got that relationship started, and being with people who are Christians, you just know that you're safe.
Yeah.
Know that it's a safe place.
That is.
So
The most beautiful thing about that
wonderful.
Alpha group, I remember dipping in every other couple of weeks, is you all grew kind of simultaneously together in those weeks. Like every week you'd go back and you'd see, all of them are just a little bit more vocal. All of them are just getting a little bit more into it.
Well, as the weeks went on.
As the weeks went on. Because
Brilliant.
like you go first week and probably the only people who you've only probably spoken because you did the nickname game.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
That is really fine because really you're in a really alien environment. I've been for dinner here. I've been for dinner at Icarus. I never thought I'd be in the back room watching a faith video.
Yeah,
and now then 3 weeks on, you're like, Barmy Barbie's crazy.
Yeah, Barmy Barb is a right laugh.
She's bonkers.
If you need cheering up,
Barmy Barb.
Barmy Barb's
Barmy
the
Barb.
one.
But also at the same time, like, that's great to have, isn't it? Because Barmy Bob's going to talk and talk.
Absolutely,
and then you're like, well, actually, I can tell my story
yeah,
as well.
Yeah,
and it creates these beautiful table time conversations, even in those first stages of having the conversations around the table, and you've got the popcorn, like everyone's dipping into the popcorn, Jackie's going around getting everyone's drinks orders. Even those like how's your week moments. I would say as well, like those how's your week conversations, I bet they're very different these days, because before it was a busy week at work, I had a crazy day Wednesday, it's been an okay week, saw mum Thursday night. Now, like, it changes, doesn't it? Because you talk about like the God moments in your week,
of course you do,
the joyful moments, and like Alpha's just amazing, and that group, you'd say a lot about that group and how important it's been to grow together.
It has, it really has been important. Like you say, it just hearing everybody else's stories, it was relatable. It made you not feel so on your own. Okay, they're feeling like that. They've experienced that this week. So have I. You know, I felt like that this week, and it was okay. It was a space to share that, and then be guided how to deal with different things. And it was amazing throughout the weeks how people started to change. You know,
really?
how you saw people start reacting different. People's stories started reacting different to situations that were happening at home, or you know. And Barmy Bob said something once. She said that whatever happens in a week, she just shelves it. And she said, okay, put it on the shelf. I'll deal with that Sunday in church. I'll deal with that. Put it on the shelf.
What great advice.
I know. I just thought that was... And obviously that made us all laugh, because it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. I saw that out Sunday.
Sort it out on Sunday during worship. We'll just shelve it until then.
Yeah.
We've seen, obviously, over the last 6 months as well, we've seen a lot of the Alpha guys get baptised. A lot of you guys have like got baptised together in the two different. I think there's been 2 since you guys were on Alpha. And you've recently been baptised. What made you make that step? What made you go, I'm gonna get dunked?
Well, I knew it was the next, obviously, natural progression in my faith journey. I really liked the idea of becoming brand new. It was a chance to just leave the old life behind, leave the old Beth behind, and start off this new journey of a way of living, this happier journey, this more joyful journey. And also, you know, Jesus did it. So whatever Jesus has done, I want to do. I want a bit of that.
We'll do that.
Absolutely. Good enough for him. Good enough for me.
And you had a lot of family there as well.
I did.
How important was it to you to do it in?
Incredible.
Really important. I was so excited for them all to come, because they'd obviously just thought church was church. You know, that they had no idea what kind of church it was, and the worship and everything, and how relatable it all is. And they absolutely loved it.
Did they react well?
They do, yeah. They reacted really well.
Brilliant.
They did. They really enjoyed it. They did.
Do you remember what you said to me as we were about to dunk you?
What did I say?
Please be gentle.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Did you get the warm? Was it warm?
Oh, it was lovely.
Was it warm?
It was lovely.
It was the new tub.
It was
so
like a bath.
It was
water. Lovely. Yeah.
It was a little bit too warm, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was like,
whoa.
Barmy Barb and the rest, they got cold, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
I did feel sorry for them. I was a bit
never let
jammy on that one.
It was so cold. Like icy, I'd say.
Icy. Wow.
Oh, how incredible. So, like, would you say, Beth, obviously you say that, like, you know, you feel brand new and this is a new Beth. Like, would you say that, like, your purpose for life has changed? Bit of a deep question. But, like, would you say your purpose has changed or been highlighted even more? Yeah,
I think it has. Yeah. Things that mattered to me before, they don't matter to me anymore. Things that I thought were so important, that I thought that what my life had to look like by the time of this age.
Wow.
It doesn't mean anything to me anymore. I know that as long as I've got Jesus, I'll be okay. Whatever life's going to look like in the future, as long as I've got Jesus, I've got everything. I've got everything.
That's
And that's the way I just live every day. I'm just so, on fire.
Yeah.
I'm so on fire. And I've just really, I just really love him. You know, I really love Jesus. I do, yeah.
That's so cute.
I do.
I love that.
When you talk to us, when you like, I love it when we get like a guest on that we don't know the story.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
so fresh for us as well.
So much
when
I didn't know.
when you told us about that December time.
Yeah.
And upset at work and
Yeah,
stuff. I can't
yeah.
imagine.
No.
I can't imagine
I know,
because,
yeah.
Can't
yeah.
imagine you
God's done
upset.
such work
Yeah,
in
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Like it's a bit like
Yeah.
because we never knew that Beth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so thankful now that this Beth exists,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's so
Me too.
great.
Me too.
You too, yeah. So what do you like? Going back to like that, like your workplace when you're in work and stuff, and you get the customers or anybody. Did they ever like highlight and say there's something different? Because they obviously experienced you in that space, and there's been a lot of been a transformation moments, or even your colleagues.
Perhaps I've only recently shared with my colleagues.
Okay.
Some customers I do share with. Some I don't because you just don't know the reaction.
Yeah.
But as I'm going on more now, you know, I've always got my cross on.
Yeah.
And perhaps in the earlier days, you know, quite ashamed. But some customers I would just do my top.
Yeah.
And I knew it was still there, but I wasn't quite ready.
Yeah,
But now
that's okay.
it's there for everyone to see, and I don't push it on my clients. But if they ask, I'm happy to tell them. If they ask, what are you doing this weekend? Oh, I'm going to church.
Yeah.
What are you doing tonight? Oh, I've got a church event. You know, I'm happy to. I'm completely okay with sharing now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because hairdressing, I've been to the barbers today, and it is a conversational.
Oh, yeah.
It is.
Talking a lot,
Yeah,
and
You have to
that,
be on top
you
form.
do have, I remember
Yeah.
it being Alpha, and I shared about
Yeah.
that, like, barbers I find really scary.
Yeah.
Do you?
I don't like going to a new barber's, like, because I've got to tell them how I like it.
Yeah,
again.
that's fair
So
enough.
I've been
yeah.
stuck with this barber now for 3
Yeah.
years, going great.
Yeah.
And you do have, like, because we're human,
Yeah.
we have that moment when we have to, like, decide, am I gonna share everything about me? Like when someone says to me, "What's your job?" or "What do you do? What you do? Like,
What are you doing on the weekend? Oh,
Yeah.
that's
You
such
have,
an easy.
you have a moment then
Yeah.
to decide, well,
Yeah.
I'm going to see my friends. You could be really blasé about it.
Yeah.
Or you can step in and go, oh,
Yeah.
I'm going to church
I'm
on
going to
Sunday, or
church,
this
yeah.
is my job, or
Yeah.
this is what I'm
Yeah.
doing tonight.
Yeah.
And I guess you get that every person.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember you saying that in Alpha. I remember thinking, I'm on the opposite end to that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're the client, do
Yeah.
I tell? I'm the hairdresser, do I tell?
But often, like, it starts a beautiful conversation.
Yeah, it does.
Because sometimes I bet you get, me too.
Yeah,
I'm
I did have a really special moment with one of my clients. So it was a Wednesday evening, and I was coming to a Rise Life. And so I finished doing her hair, and I was literally coming straight from work to church. And she said to me, "What are you doing tonight after you finished?" I said, "I'm going to a church event." She said, "Oh, you go to church?" I said, "Yeah." So then she started telling me that she did have a faith, and then she's had a few things happen to her that made her obviously angry at God, and she'd lost her faith. And I kind of just felt like it was my responsibility to say to her, well, you may have stepped away from God for a bit, but He's still with you. He still loves you, and He'll be there again when you're ready for Him. And then that did comfort her. And she left, and I thought, did I just say that? That doesn't come out of me. You know, so it was just it's really nice to be able to share that with you know, because that is the truth.
Yeah.
When she's ready,
Absolutely.
he'll welcome her back.
Yeah.
Do you find it easier now, like to say so I remember, didn't you bring someone to a prayer event as well, and there was a prayer moment?
Yes, yeah.
What
Range,
was that?
yeah.
Range,
and obviously we had no idea what prayer night was. Range was going through a difficult time, and it was the day that you preached.
Was it?
Yeah, and you'd said something about having
Yes,
children.
I remember.
I don't know, I just felt like it was on my heart.
Yeah.
Because she was going through quite a rough time. And I just felt like it was on my heart to call her afterwards and say, look, Sarah said this today in the preach. I'm going to pass it on to you. See if it means anything to you. See if it helps you. And she said, Beth, I really felt like that was for me.
Wow.
And then I said to her, there's a prayer evening going on tonight. I do want to go. She said, well, I'll come then. I'll come.
Gosh.
So she came. And then we kind of cornered Andy.
Yeah. He said you just led the way, though.
Yeah.
Well,
you just prayed.
Well, it just comes to you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I just didn't know, had no idea that I was going to be doing the praying.
Yeah.
But why not? It's rand.
Absolutely.
I know her personalised situation. I can personalise the prayer.
Yeah.
And if it helps her, then why
Absolutely.
not just be brave and do it, you know?
And it just means so much, doesn't it? And I remember her coming to me when she came in a couple of Sundays, and she was, because the word was so specific as well, because it was like two things, and I remember it being so specific. And I felt really weird as I was sharing it. I was like, what am I saying here? But then that just like fit in with the whole day.
Yeah.
You were like, okay, that's that.
Yeah.
Let's invite her to a prayer event. And that's just beautiful, isn't it? Like just the sharing of God's goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. What a brilliant domino effect that is.
I know.
Wow. So, for somebody now listening and they're hearing your story and maybe they're seeing familiarities, maybe they're in a dark place and they want out.
Yeah.
What would you say to somebody who's maybe thinking of now, church might be somewhere where I want to go? What advice would you give them to take that step?
Yeah, that's great.
I would say, number one, do an alpha course.
Great.
An alpha course.
Yeah.
Preferably at Hickory's. With Jackie snacks. Find a church, whether that's a Rise, whether it's another church, that you just feel at home, that it's easy, it's comfortable, you feel looked after, you feel special. Find that church, and whether or not you've already got a background of faith, whether you know him a little bit or not at all, those people in the church will be able to teach you, guide you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Find that place and just absolutely sow yourself in it.
Yeah.
And you'll never go wrong.
That's
Never.
great.
How can you
Beth.
ever go wrong?
Yeah. That is great.
It will change your life.
Yeah.
It will change your life.
I love that he's always been around.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Like, I love the shout to the Lord story.
Yeah, it's
So
amazing.
good, 'cause that's like an anthem.
It is an anthem. It is an anthem of my life.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Bad dream. Right, that's it. Get shout to the Lord on. I'd be like 14, 15. No idea. You know.
No idea.
No idea. You know, probably didn't know what the words meant.
Yeah.
But it was just always stayed with me.
What a foundation.
Incredible.
Brilliant.
Absolutely wonderful.
Great. Thank you so much, Beth.
Thank you,
Thank
Beth.
you, guys. Thank you.
This won't surprise you. As tradition on the Real Life Show, we have a selfie.
Yeah.
With our
We
guests.
do.
So
Shall I go
Okay.
around? Yeah.
we ask that every time. When you go.
We do. Maybe we should I should just
Just go. Oh, the lighting is great today. Green dot. Green dot. Okay.
You need to look at the green dot.
Ready? Brill.
Thank you.
Good one.
Thank you very much.
Brilliant. Thank you, Beth. I
Thank
hope
you,
you've
guys.
enjoyed being
I
on.
have.
Have you enjoyed it?
I feel like a celebrity.
You are.
Are you going to watch you going to listen to your episode?
Well, we said we're going to have a watch party.
Oh
but
my gosh.
I might have to have a
Is
bag
there
on
anything
my
you'd like
head.
to say to them?
Hi, family. I love you all. Thanks for
Hi,
watching.
Beth.
Be my
Family.
friends. Be my friend, Amy.
Amy, be my friend.
Be my friend. You need a friend like Amy. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Beth.
Thank you,
Thanks
Beth.
for
having
listening
me.
as well all the time.
Yeah.
No worries.
Being our biggest
Number one
Making
fan.
Great.
Thank you guys for listening as well. Thank you to the Backyard for hosting
Thank
us
you.
once again. You can watch us on YouTube and Spotify and listen on Apple Music, Amazon Music and Audible. You can say Real Audible. Alexa, is it Alexa? Alexa, play the Real Life Show. And she will.
works.
She will. But
Tried
we'll
it.
see you next month. Thanks for listening and we'll see you then.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.